Hey there and welcome. Today, we are pulling back the curtain on the really passionate, pretty complex, and let's be honest, sometimes baffling world of high-end watches. We're going to break down the hype, the artistry, and the community that drives this whole thing. So let's just dive right in. 8. 8 years. That's right. At its peak, that was the waiting list for a single model of watch. Not a bespoke car, not a custom-built house, a watch. And that number, that single digit, really gets to the heart of what we're talking about today. Why? I mean, what makes a little mechanical object so desirable that people will literally wait the better part of a decade for it, or pay double, sometimes triple the price just to get one now? Let's figure it out. So to really get a handle on the watches themselves, you first have to understand the world that builds their story. And this is way more than just a few ads in a glossy magazine. No, it's a whole universe of dedicated websites, blogs, and online communities that shape the entire conversation, and yeah, that shape the desire. And here are some of the heavy hitters in that universe. If you want to get the pulse of the watch world, these are the names you gotta know. You've got Hodinkee doing these incredible deep dives, Monochrome getting into all the technical nitty-gritty. These guys are absolutely central to what people want and why they want it. But, right away, you run into this central conflict. This comment from a reader on Hodinkee just nails it. It perfectly captures the big debate in watch media. How can you be a real journalist offering actual criticism when the brands you're writing about are also your biggest advertisers? It's a really tricky balancing act. And it means if you're out there looking for an honest take, you have to remember that all that glowing praise a watch gets just might be tied to a business deal. All right, let's shift gears from the media that talks about the watches to the actual objects of desire. Because these aren't just time tellers, they're basically celebrities. They're characters with their own backstories, their own personalities, and huge fan bases. They are the icons right at the center of all the hype. Now, these two might look like competitors, but they actually share a pretty amazing secret. They were both designed by the same guy, the absolute legend Gerald Genta. Back in '72, his Royal Oak was a bombshell, a steel watch that cost more than a gold one. It was nuts. Then, just a few years later, Patek Philippe tapped in to design their answer, and out came the Nautilus, two icons from one incredible mind. And then you have this, the Omega Speedmaster. Its claim to fame is, well, literally out of this world. This isn't just a watch. It's a piece of human history. It's a symbol of exploration. That story, the fact that it was on the wrists of astronauts taking their first steps on the moon, that's a story so powerful you just can't put a price on it. So we've talked media, we've talked icons, but the real passion here runs so much deeper than just hype or history. For the true collectors, the value is in the human ingenuity, the artistry that's crammed into this tiny mechanical engine. So let's look at the soul of the machine. To really appreciate the art, you'd kind of have to learn the language. Take a word like chronograph. It sounds fancy, but it's basically a stopwatch. But in the watch world, it's called a complication. Any function that goes beyond just telling you the time. And the fact that it was inspired by the dashboards of old sports cars, that tells you everything you need to know. This is about precision, performance, and that deep connection to amazing engineering. And this is the absolute peak of that art form. What you're looking at is a watch handmade by George Daniels, a modern master. He made almost every single part himself. It's got his own invention, the coaxial escapement. Think of it as a super efficient, more durable engine for the watch. And that spinning cage you see? That's a tourbillon, a mesmerizing device designed to fight gravity and make the watch more accurate. This isn't a product, it's a masterpiece, plain and simple. But see, Daniels wasn't just working in a bubble. He's part of this long, incredible line of masters, stretching all the way back to pioneers like Tampion and Grams centuries ago, right up through Genta in the '70s. And today, his one and only apprentice, Roger W. Smith, is carrying that torch. It's a powerful reminder that this is a true craft, a tradition passed down from one generation to the next. This comment from a reader just hits the nail on the head. All these debates about the finishing on a movement, the history of a design, the skill of the person who made it, this is what people mean when they say a watch has soul. It's an emotional, almost philosophical connection that a piece of disposable tech, no matter how smart it is just never, ever going to have. Okay, let's pull back from the philosophy and get back to the wild reality of the market. And there is no better example of the hype, the demand, and the pure irrationality of it all than that watch we talked about at the beginning, the Patek Philippe Nautilus, reference 5711. So yeah, let's talk numbers. When this watch was at its most popular, the official retail price from Patek was about 25,000 euros. But if you wanted one without that 8-year wait, you were looking at paying more than double that on the pre-owned market. This has nothing to do with telling time anymore. This is about pure, unfiltered, incredible demand. But here is the craziest part. For a watch that costs that much money, it's actually kind of flawed. Owners and reviewers point this stuff out all the time. You can't stop the second hand to set the time precisely. There's no little adjustment on the clasp to get the fit just right on a hot day, and you're pretty much stuck with that bracelet. What does that tell you? It proves that the value here is being driven by something way beyond just function. And all of that hype, well, it creates a huge backlash. This comment, this raw, unfiltered take from a reader on monochrome, it just perfectly captures that frustration. For a lot of the longtime enthusiasts, this whole speculative frenzy, the flex culture around watches like the Nautilus, it feels like it's soured the whole hobby. So after all of that, the media machine, the history, the incredible art, the completely insane market, what does it all mean? What is this obsession with these tiny, outdated machines all about in our super modern world? And really, that's the question we're left with, isn't it? Your phone tells perfect time, synced up to an atomic clock somewhere. It makes a mechanical watch totally, completely obsolete. So what are we really buying? Is it a piece of history? Is it a piece of art? A connection to a human craft that's been passed down for centuries? Or is it just a status symbol? Maybe the answer is it's all of those things. It's a tiny mechanical, timeless anchor in a world that just keeps moving faster and faster every single day.